Hello again everyone, this is Peter from Physical Therapy Ireland, and today's topic is going to be an important one because we're going to talk about the pelvic floor, what it is, what does it do, why it's so important, and then finally we're going to go through some corrective exercises that you can do at home. Now I have two main reasons why I decided to do this topic. Firstly, I think a lot of us don't realise how a dysfunctional pelvic floor can actually be linked to the complaints and issues we might be dealing with. Let's say for uncontrolled flatulence, the leaking of urine, pain during sexual intercourse, erectile dysfunction, chronic lower back and pelvic pain, and the list goes on. And secondly, and generally speaking, for some reason, men can consider pelvic floor issues as a woman's issue, which is completely inaccurate because we all have a pelvic floor, which is essential for kind of major bodily functions, which I'm going to go through in a sec. So what is this pelvic floor? Well, essentially these are layers of muscles that are positioned at the base of the pelvis and actually looks like a hammock just like that, and then that supports then organs like the bladder, the bowel, the uterus. It also supports the rectum and the vagina as well. Now this musculature, hammock type structure also has a couple of holes passing through it, which act as passageways from tubes from the various organs such as the bladder, the bowel and the uterus, and in a healthy pelvic floor these muscles tighten and wrap around these holes to keep the tubes from the organs shut. That way then you don't have the unwanted flatulence, the unwanted leaking of urine, until of course you're ready to use the bathroom. Now its primary functions, as I'm sure you've guessed already, is to control the flow of urine, feces, flatulence, but it's also essential for that good core stability as well as sexual function in both men and women. Now typically these pelvic floor muscles become quite weak, and particularly if you're overweight, you're pregnant, after childbirth, you have a really poor weightlifting technique, let's say you're constantly straining down going to the bathroom, or let's say you're prone to coughing quite regularly. But this is where I do not want you to be fooled, because regardless of whether or not you have fantastic physique and perfect posture and you have that cheese grater for abs, it doesn't matter because it affects everybody, and I'm going to show you how. So there's a technique called the MidSouth Maneuver, and this is essentially breathing all the way out but also blocking your nose and your mouth at the same time. So just to get you know what I'm talking about, I'm going to get you to do it at home. So just take a breath in, and as you're breathing all the way out, I want you to block your nose and your mouth. And you feel that build up of pressure in your abdomen, in your skull, behind your eyes. Your face might go a bit red as well. Now this is a normal everyday thing that we do, particularly if you're straining down going to the bathroom, you're coughing, or let's say when you pop your ears when you're on the airplane. But this only becomes a problem when you apply this maneuver to scenarios where you're doing your weightlifting training, your ab crunches, or just generally speaking you want to lift up something, particularly if it's heavy. Because this kind of regular, frequent kind of build up of pressure in your abdomen and the pelvic area can actually weaken your pelvic floor. I mean, if you ever notice someone who's lying down on the floor doing their ab crunches, okay, and if you pay close attention, what you see and hear is this, just like that. What's actually happening is they're on exertion, they're holding their breath, and as a result then all that pressure in the abdomen and pelvic floor is increasing, and over a period of time then that pelvic floor can actually weaken. So what it generally should look like is this: when they're lying down on the floor doing an ab crunch, on exertion they're breathing out, and you can see that big difference. I'm getting really good core workout there. I'm not going to bring up that unnecessary pressure in my abdomen or my pelvic floor area. Now if you do this maneuver quite regularly and forcefully, not only can you weaken the pelvic floor muscles, but you can also faint, increase heart rate, increase blood pressure and affect the heart. You can weaken the windpipe and affect the lungs, and because you build up that pressure in the skull as well, it can eventually lead to eye and ear complications. So if ever you find yourself exerting yourself, do get out of the habit of actually holding a breath and instead breathe out on exertion. This is particularly important now if you have high blood pressure, any other circulatory issue, any heart complaints, and particularly so if you're over the age of 50. Right, so that was a quick introduction into the pelvic floor. Now I'm going to demonstrate some exercises that you can do at home. So first, let's start off with contracting the pelvic floor on its own, and all you have to do now is the action of stopping yourself from peeing like you do at the bathroom. So stop yourself from peeing. You're going to feel that contraction right there, which is just below the belly line here. Okay, hold that for 10 seconds. Use only maybe 20% of your overall power. Don't squeeze too tight, and then relax, and then you do it again, and do that then 10 times in a row. Now once you get the feel of it and you know what it's like to contract your pelvic floor, now we can make it a bit more difficult and add in the abs here as well. So what you do is tighten the tummy here, okay, use 20% of your power again, and then tighten your pelvic floor, and you can feel all those two areas here working together. If you find it difficult and if you don't know if you're contracting your tummy or not, you can do a nice technique called the Bertha candles, which means you just breathe all the way out, empty out your lungs completely, okay, and at the end of that you're going to feel the tummy starting to tighten here a small bit. Once you get that tightness, I want you to hold it there, maybe 20% of your power, and continue on to breathe normally. So it's just like this. Breathe all the way out. I feel that tightness along my tummy, and I'm going to hold that, breathe out normally. I still have it held here. Now I'm going to squeeze my pelvic floor, and you're going to feel those two areas working together here. Again, hold for 10 seconds, relax, do it 10 times in a row. Now once you get to the hang of that, and if you want to make this even more difficult again, now we can include a third activation, which is squeezing the bum. So all I want you to do is clench the bum, again 20% of your power, squeeze your tummy. You can do the Berta cannons if you like, and then I want you to squeeze or stop yourself from peeing. You get that pelvic floor. So now we have the pelvic floor, we have the tummy, and now the bum. Contracting 20%, hold for 10 seconds, relax everything. Again, squeeze the bum, the tummy, and now the pelvic floor, and hold 10 seconds again, and do your 10 repetitions. So now we're going to connect the pelvic floor with a more functional abdominal workout. So all I want you to do is lie down on your back. Okay, raise up your legs, make sure your lower back is flat onto the ground as well. Okay, and we're going to engage our pelvic floor, engage our tummy as well. Remember, only 20% of your overall power. And now we're going to lower the leg down so the foot's barely touching the ground. Raising the knees up to hip height each time as well. Keeping the pelvic floor and the tummy contracted as well. I'm going to do this maybe 10 repetitions. After which then you can just relax the pelvic floor and the tummy, get back in and do the exact same thing again. You're going to feel that workout here in the tummy and on the pelvic floor. Okay, and we're going to do that maybe say 10 times again, and we can do that 5 times all together. If you want to make this a bit more difficult for you, bring the legs up just like this again, engage those 2 points, but now you can straighten out the legs a bit more, just like that, to get a bit more of an abdominal workout as well. Make sure you're keeping the pelvic floor engaged as well, and do the exact same process again. However, you may get discomfort here in your lower back if your abdominals here and your core isn't strong enough, in which case, if that's the case, just go in to do this. Instead, bring the legs all the way down like this. Okay, just maybe do it halfway. But if that still causes a bit of discomfort in your lower back, then go back into the first variation like I just showed you here. So now we're going to integrate the pelvic floor with our big bum muscles by doing the back bridge. So all I want you to do is lie down on your back, feet shoulder width apart and your heels relatively close to your bum. We're going to engage our pelvic floor here, stop yourself from peeing, and then we're going to slowly lift up our bum and clench your bums here as well. Again, we're only going 20% here, contraction at the pelvic floor. We're going to hold that for 10 seconds, slowly lower it back down. Relax everything, don't forget to release the pelvic floor, relax everything, and then straight away you're back up again, clenching your pelvic floor and clenching your bum as well. And we're going to do that then 10 times, and you're going to feel that workout sensation, that burning sensation here in the bum, and you're going to feel a bit of a workout here in your pelvic floor musculature as well. And slowly back down. Should be no pain throughout this exercise. Okay, so now what we're going to do is a pelvic floor strengthening exercise whilst also doing a very basic human movement known as a squat. So all we want to do is place your back against the wall. Just like that. I want you to take 1 or 2 steps out in front of you. Have your feet shoulder width apart, just like that. Okay, hands on the hips. I want you to engage your pelvic floor here and your tummy muscles here. Again, 20% of your power. And now slowly lower yourself down into a squat. Back of my pelvis now is against the wall as well. Get myself into maybe 45-degree angle here to start off with. Keep engaging my pelvic floor and the tummy. Keep on breathing in and out, don't hold the breath, hold for 10 seconds, and then slowly bring it back up again, push hips out away from the wall and squeeze it and squeeze the bum. Make sure you're not overextending just like that either, okay? Then you're going to relax everything, okay? Now you're going to squeeze the pelvic floor again and the tummy, get back down into it again, slowly all the way down. If you want to make it a bit harder, you go all the way down into 90 degree here. Keep that pelvic floor tightened as well and the tummy. Keep on breathing in and out. And then bring yourself back up again, push your hips away from the wall and squeeze the bum. And we're going to do that then maybe 10 times in a row.